today's video, we're going to see if we can make an ice cream bar that's so big it can barely fit in our freezer. I am a big fan of ice cream bars in many different forms. They're pretty great, but sometimes when I'm eating an ice cream bar I think, this is great, but it could be bigger. And today we're gonna work on that. Here's the basic idea. Ice cream bars are delicious and we love them, but we think that they could be a little bit bigger. So today we're going to see how large of an ice cream bar we can make. For us right now, the biggest limiting factor is how large of something we can fit in our freezer all at once. If we had like a nice large chest freezer, maybe we could go up a size, but I think we can make an ice cream bar where just the bar is about the size of this whole tray right here. And then we'll have a stick on it, and I think at that point we'll be at about the limit for our size that we can put in our freezer. We're not the first people to make a giant ice cream bar, but I've always wanted to try it. I have a couple different ideas of how to do a few things, and I just think it's fun. So today, we're making a giant ice cream bar. I've got 6 tubs of vanilla ice cream. I'm going to try and take them out, get the ice cream out of them, generally in their ice cream tub shape, and fit them together on this tray. Once they're on the tray, I'll try and get it all smushed together evenly, spread if I need to, just try and make it all one continuous bit. I'll likely have parchment paper down underneath it, so if I need to remove it, which I will, I'll be able to do that. And then I'll probably have lots of steps where I put it back in the freezer to cool back down. Once I've got it all smushed together, probably throw it back in the freezer, cool it down, but then my goal is going to be to shape it, because I'm not just going for a rectangle, I want a little bit of this shape. It'll probably be a little bit wider so I can use more of the pan here. I need to shape the stick early on because I want that to go in like near the beginning. So when I'm first putting all of the ice cream on, I'm only gonna try and do like half of it, put the stick in, put the other half on top of it to hold it down in place so it's right in the middle, usable, gonna have some strength to it. And then I'll do the shaping. And then I've got a couple different things that I'm gonna try and use for the shell. There's these like magic shell, there's a few different brands of them. The idea is that they're liquid, you pour them onto your ice cream, and as they cool down, they get hard and brittle, very similar to what's on the ice cream bar. And then we've also got some just meltable chocolate in case I don't have enough of this. I think I might actually try mixing the two, melt some of this down, pour some of this in. Both of those should help form a nice hard chocolate shell on the outside. And then I'm not gonna do the whole thing at once. Ideally, this would get dipped. And you can see by what's happened to the stick, that's probably what happened with these, is they were dipped down into the shell material. I would need just a vat of it, and I couldn't find any vats of this shell stuff for sale. So we're just going to I'm gonna pour it onto one side and just sort of like spread it partway down the sides of it, put it in the freezer till it's hardened, and then I'm going to try to flip the whole thing over, which is gonna be a trick. Flip the whole thing over and then apply the chocolate to the other side. I'll also, of course, be adding toffee bits, and I'm gonna use cocoa pebbles as crispy bits. So I'm gonna try and get those embedded in the chocolate. Probably put them in the first layer and then maybe do a second layer over them. You can see that a lot of it's just kind of like coated. It's not like bits sticking out, it's like bits with chocolate on top of it. So that's the plan. There's just a board. I'm gonna give it a little bit of the shape, not a lot. This is gonna be more of a traditional popsicle shape because I don't wanna lose too much strength out of it. This is gonna be a lot of ice cream. It's gonna be heavy. I'm gonna need a lot of support here. Big surprise, ice cream, very cold. Shocking, I know. We've got these laid out. That's gonna be we're then gonna have 3 more on top of that, but we've got all these gaps we need to fill in, so I'm gonna start working on that. Rubber mallet, not wooden mallet. Hammering my ice cream, like you do. Our bottom layer is definitely starting to get melty to an unstable point. Time to throw this back in the freezer for a bit, then we can take it out, shape it more, and hopefully start adding our chocolate coating. I am pretty dang happy with the shaping. I like the look of this. I think we're gonna throw it back in the freezer. I'm gonna be doing some experiments with our shell material while it cools back down. And then we're gonna try and start applying the shell if I get it all to work well. I was concerned about how much coverage I would get with one of these little magic shell bottles. I have a lot to cover. So I've got these meltable chocolates, and they usually harden. If it's kind of like pre-tempered chocolate, They usually harden pretty well. I'll do all three. I'll do some of this plain, I'll do some of this plain, then I'll do the two mixed together and see how well everything works. There we go. And we've got some of our plain magic shell stuff. I'm gonna throw that right there. Much runnier. That's kind of the idea though, is that this is liquid at room temperature, and then as it cools, it gets hard. We're just gonna try mixing the two. Now, as I was mixing, the other two did start to harden up quite a bit. So this run right here was the plain chocolate, and you can see that some of it's still melty. It had to be heated up to be able to pour, but we got a good shell on it. Our pure magic shell stuff, at least so far, it's not very crunchy, or at least that piece wasn't. It's got some bite, but it doesn't crunch at all. I'll let it cool a little bit more while the mix of the two is cooling as well. Since I've got this bowl of the mixed chocolate with magic shell stuff, I'm going to try adding some of my crispy and crunchy bits to it to see how well that does. Here's our mix. It's a shell, but it gives really easily. This mix I like quite a bit. I think that's a winner. We're just letting this one test that has our crispy and crunchy bits in it. But I'm excited for this. All right, we've got all of our chocolate and magic shell stuff mixed in. Now we're just gonna add some toffee and some cocoa pebbles to this to give it a little more texture. Oh, I love the look of that texture. I wish that I could have just dipped this whole thing, but they were out of vats of chocolate. Just, you know, whole 55-gallon drums of this stuff. I maybe could have been able to dip it in. Didn't see any of those at the store while I was there. It was a shame. Yes! Some excess chocolate will need to be trimmed. Gotta put our chamfer on this side anyhow. All right, we've given our ice cream bar time to freeze, hopefully very solid. I also actually I got one more bottle and I went and patched up some of the holes where the ice cream had decided to leak out, or we didn't have quite enough with that last batch of chocolate. So let's take this out, see how it's looking, and see if it's possible to actually lift the whole thing. It's gonna be really heavy, and I don't know how strong that shell is or how strong the ice cream is inside, so here goes. I wish that drawer opened just a little farther. There we go. That, my friends, is an ice cream bar. That is a serious, giant ice cream bar. Still a little bit of leakage, but this is glorious. I am very happy about this. Kind of a moment of truth here. Is our popsicle stick, our 1x4 board, actually going to hold this thing? I don't know. Definitely got some spilled ice cream down there. Oh, yes, yes, yes. I can't really bite through it because it's really thick chocolate and the angle is bad, but I'm very happy with our giant ice cream bar. This should be able to sustain you at 2,000 calories a day for 20 days eating just chocolate ice cream bar, which sounds like a great 20 days at first, and then I think by about day 1/2. Guys, that's it for today, but we've always got new stuff going out. Go ahead and click that button right there to subscribe to the channel so you never miss a video, and we'll see you in the next one. Talk to you then. Do I have something on my face?